If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the community. You won't want to miss what happens next. What if one ordinary morning, everything you'd ever secretly wished for, being seen, being wanted, being the center of the world, suddenly came true? But it arrived wrapped in something beautiful and dangerous that you never asked for. What if a single piece of jewelry left mysteriously on your doorstep with a promise of true love started rewriting your life in ways that felt like a dream at first, and then slowly twisted into something you couldn't control it? What if the attention you'd craved your whole life began to change, making you sharper, colder, more powerful, until the person you used to be felt like a stranger staring back from the mirror? Would you keep wearing it? Would you believe you could handle the power? Or would you realize too late that the necklace wasn't bringing love at all? It was feeding on the hidden parts of you that were already hungry for more. Because that necklace didn't just make people notice me. It uncovered every insecurity I'd buried, every quiet resentment, every fear of being invisible forever, and it amplified them until they drowned out my own voice. My name is Helen. I'm a junior in high school, and for most of my life I existed on the edge, the quiet, overlooked, the reliable background character in everyone else's story. My younger sister Lucy was the opposite. Radiant, brilliant, the kind of girl who walked into any room and instantly became its heartbeat. I loved her more than anything, but in the silent moments when no one was looking, I wondered what it would feel like to trade places just once, to know the rush of being the one everyone turned toward. Then the necklace arrived on my porch, promising exactly that. And for a little while, every lonely wish I'd ever made seemed to come true. But the price was almost everything that made me who I really was. It was just a regular school morning, sunlight filtering through my bedroom curtains as I stood in front of the mirror, halfway through brushing out the tangles in my hair. The doorbell rang sharp and unexpected. No one ever came by that early, not even the mail carrier. Curious, I hurried downstairs and opened the front door to an empty porch, except for one small package sitting alone on the welcome mat. It was wrapped in shimmering silver paper, my name written across the top in the most elegant, looping handwriting I'd ever seen. No return address, no card on the outside, just my name, like whoever sent it knew I'd be the one to find it. Heart beating a little faster, I carried it inside and carefully unwrapped it at the kitchen table. Inside was a soft, black velvet pouch. When I opened it, the necklace slid out into my palm, an exquisitely delicate gold chain with a single diamond pendant at the center that caught every bit of morning light and scattered it like tiny stars. It looked expensive, too expensive to be real, yet it felt heavy and genuine in my hand. Tucked beside it was a small folded note on thick cream paper. My fingers trembled slightly as I unfolded it and read the words aloud to the empty kitchen. "For as long as you wear this necklace, true love will find you." I stared at it for a long moment, half laughing at how ridiculous it sounded, like something from a fairy tale or a cheesy movie. But there was something about the way the diamond sparkled, something about the weight of the chain that made me pause. I'd spent so many years feeling unseen. What harm could there be in trying? I lifted it to my neck and clasped it shut. The metal settled cool and light against my skin, resting just above my heartbeat. For a second it felt comforting, like it belonged there. Then something shifted, a subtle pressure, almost like the necklace was listening, waiting, claiming a piece of me I hadn't offered yet. If you've ever carried that quiet ache of feeling invisible, like you always standing just outside the circle, smiling politely while everyone else connects and shines, pause right here and drop a comment below. Tell me your story, your moments of wondering if anyone would notice if you simply disappeared. Your words always remind me how deeply we're all connected in these hidden feelings. By the time I walked through the school doors that morning, the world already felt different. Usually I moved through the crowded hallways like a ghost, head down, earbuds in, just another face blending into lockers and laughter. People stepped around me without really seeing me, but that day, heads turned, real smiles, actual waves, eyes lingered. Jessica and Daneva, undisputed queens of the social scene. Girls who never once acknowledged my existence beyond maybe a passing glance, strode straight up to me in the hallway like we'd been lifelong friends. Good morning, Helen. You look absolutely incredible today. Seriously, that outfit is fire. You have to come sit with us at lunch. We've literally been saving you the best spot. I laughed, a nervous, thrilled sound I barely recognized as my own, and followed them through the crowds that suddenly seemed to part for us. In biology class, even Mr. Smith, the teacher infamous for never handing out compliments, paused during his lecture to single me out. Outstanding work again, Helen. The kind of analysis everyone in this room could learn from. Whispers rippled around me, admiring glances shooting my way. By lunchtime, the cafeteria table was overflowing, people jostling for seats closest to me. Phones buzzing non-stop with new messages, follows direct invitations from numbers I didn't recognize. My notifications exploded, story views, likes, comments pouring in from classmates who'd never spoken to me before. I sat there in the center of it all, heart racing, knowing without a doubt that it was the necklace working its impossible promise. Almost everyone noticed me now, except for one person who mattered more than I wanted to admit, Alan. Quiet, thoughtful Alan from middle school, the boy I'd nursed a secret crush on for years because he never performed for anyone, never chased attention. He just existed comfortably in his own world, reading books in corners, offering small, genuine smiles when our eyes met. He was the one person whose notice would have meant something real. But that day he walked right past my locker without a flicker of recognition, eyes on his phone, earbuds in, like I was still the invisible girl I'd always been. It stung deeper than any of the new attention felt good. That evening, back in the safety of my room, Lucy slipped through my door with that knowing big sister look. Okay, spill what's going on. Suddenly, you're the most popular girl in school. I showed her the necklace. Let the diamond catch the lamplight. Read her the note, word for word. She listened carefully, fingers tracing the chain without touching it, expression shifting between wonder, curiosity, and something that looked a lot like worry. That's intense Helen magic necklaces with promises of true love. Be really careful. Power like this it can change people in ways they don't expect. But then her face softened into that warm, familiar smile that always made everything feel safer. Still, you deserve to feel seen. You always have. Let's celebrate properly. There's a party this weekend. Dream team again. Like this video if you've ever finally tasted that intoxicating rush of being noticed after years of feeling overlooked and felt how quickly it becomes something you can't imagine living without. And share it with someone who knows exactly how addictive that spotlight can feel. The days that followed melted into a glittering blur I never wanted to end. Whispers trailed me down every hallway like sweet music. Girls studied my outfits and copied them the next day. Guys stumbled over their words just to hold a conversation with me, eyes wide like I was something priceless. I flirted back without hesitation, reveling in the confidence I'd only ever dreamed about. Old crushes flipped allegiance overnight. One boy even confessed, "I used to have a thing for Lucy, but now it's all you, Helen." I laughed, the sound sharp and sure. Well, the heart wants what it wants, doesn't it? Then Edward appeared, stepping into my story like he'd been waiting for the perfect dramatic entrance. It happened the day Alan's indifference burned hottest. I was still fuming quietly in the hallway when this tall, dark-haired stranger materialized beside me. He carried that effortless, mysterious aura, a faint, captivating accent curling around every word, new kid energy wrapped in quiet confidence. Rumors had already painted him as old money, wealthy, dangerously charming, the kind of boy who turned heads without trying. But in PE class that afternoon, the coach randomly paired us for the brutal relay obstacle course, cones to weave, hurdles to leap, nets to crawl under in the dirt. We moved together like we'd rehearsed it for months, perfectly synchronized, breathing hard but never missing a beat. When we crossed the finish line first, collapsing in laughter and sweat, he turned to me with eyes that felt like they saw straight through every wall I'd ever built. "You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen," he said simply, voice low. "Let me take you out properly, the way you deserve." We walked off the court side by side, every gaze in the gym locked on us, whispers exploding in our wake. Helen and the untouchable European guy. Overnight, the attention didn't just double, it multiplied. Single, perfect roses began appearing on my locker every single morning, without fail one flawless bloom, always accompanied by a handwritten note in his elegant script. "Thinking of you always, Ed." He became a constant presence, waiting patiently outside every classroom door, carrying my books without being asked, sliding his card across counters before I could even reach for my wallet. Swiss chocolates appeared in my bag. Subtle designer touches wove into my ordinary days. Effortless luxury became routine, and he defended me with a fierceness that thrilled me. When Mr. Smith caught me cheating on a test for the third time that month and tried to march me out of class, Edward stepped calmly between us. One quiet push against the teacher's chest, one icy stare, and Mr. Smith backed down without another word. We walked away untouched, invincible together. But beneath all the shine, tiny cracks began to show. Edward and I looked flawless, side by side, perfect couple aesthetic, but real conversation never quite flowed. No shared playlists swapped in the car. No deep belly laughs over favorite movie quotes. No vulnerable stories about childhood dreams or fears. I'd crack a joke and he'd offer a polite, perfect smile. I'd ask about his past and get vague, polished answers. His future, even vague. The only thing he ever seemed completely sure about was how incredible we looked together. How perfectly matched, how meant to be we obviously were. Maybe that was enough. Maybe chemistry didn't need deep talks. Or maybe I was just telling myself that because I didn't want to lose the high. Lucy tried to reach me one more time. She cornered me gently after school. "Helen, this isn't you. The necklace, Edward, they're changing you into someone colder. Please be careful." I snapped back without thinking, words sharp as glass. "Maybe I like the new me. Maybe you're just jealous because, for once, I'm the one shining." Hurt flashed across her face before she turned away. After that, we stopped speaking entirely. The house felt quieter, emptier, but I pushed the feeling down. Then disaster struck Lucy. It happened during basketball practice. Bad fall, serious injury. She was rushed to the ER. Mum called me in a panic while I was out with Edward and the girls at some exclusive rooftop lounge. My stomach dropped. "I think I need to go to the hospital. Can you give me a ride?" Edward laughed it off casually, hand-waving dismissively. "She's fine, babe. Probably just seeking attention now that you're the star." "Stay the night's young." Jessica and Dana chimed in agreement, giggling. I hesitated, heart pulling two ways, and chose to stay. The party stretched on for hours, music loud, lights spinning, laughter endless. It was past midnight when the lounge doors burst open. My parents stormed in with a police officer trailing behind, faces pale with worry and fury. "Helen, we've been trying to reach you for hours. Your phone straight to voicemail." We had to call the police. The officer scanned the room, shaking his head. Another worried parent's missing teen case. And surprise, she's just partying. Humiliation burned hot in my chest. In front of everyone, Edward, Jessica, Dana, strangers, I lashed out. "You're embarrassing me. Since when do you care anyway?" I was always the easy one, the quiet one who never caused trouble. Now that I finally have a life, you want to ruin it. Words I'd never dared say before spilled out lies about abuse, harassment, anything to make them back away. Police took statements. My parents left crushed faces. I'd never seen so broken. As I passed Edward on my way out with the officer, he caught my eye and mouthed silently, "I love you." For the first time he'd said it. My foolish heart fluttered despite everything. After that night, I ruled the school like an untouchable queen. Teachers averted their eyes when I broke rules. I keyed an English teacher S-brand new car from end to end in a fit of rage over a failed quiz. She saw the scratches, knew it was me, and said nothing. I felt godlikely chirped by some, feared by most, until Lucy returned from weeks of recovery. Walking slowly down the hallway, arm gently linked through none other than Alan's. Something dark and possessive snapped inside me. Quiet, genuine Alan, the one boy whose real attention would have meant everything, was choosing her. I became obsessed. I built an entire network of spies girls reporting her every move, screenshots of every post, constant updates whispered in hallways. Even sitting beside Edward at lunch, my phone stayed glued to my hand, refreshing for new reports. Edward finally noticed my distraction. What keeps my queen so busy these days? When Alan's name accidentally slipped out, his fingers tightened painfully around my wrist. Don't forget who's in control here. I'm your master, don't give me attitude. Fear flickered cold for the first time. I yanked away. 10. Don't ever touch me like that again. Shock crossed his perfect face. I walked away, clinging harder to the necklace's remaining power. Clues began piling up. A business card slipped from his pocket one day belonging to a local witch with an actual shop address. It didn't make sense. Until pieces clicked, I visited her alone. The shop was exactly what you'd imagined: dark velvet curtains, flickering candles, shelves of strange jars and ancient-looking books. She looked up with a knowing smirk. Late, but I had a vision you'd come. Necklace trouble. She confirmed everything. Edward had commissioned it after struggling with rejection his whole life, bullied in Italy despite new money, still overlooked even after his glow-up. He paid her to enchant it, not just for love, but for raw, unstoppable power that amplified whatever already lived inside the wearer. It adapted. It became you. And the darker you grew, the stronger its grip. I left feeling more powerful than ever, until the fallout began. Friends scattered like startled birds. Teachers avoided eye contact in hallways. Even once loyal followers ran when they saw me coming. My birthday arrived in total silence. No wishes, no surprise party, nothing. The halls felt eerily empty. I returned desperately to the witch's shop, abandoned overnight. Candles burned to stubs. Dust already settling. In her cracked back wall mirror, I caught my reflection and froze. The girl staring back had cold eyes, a cruel tilt to her mouth, posture that screamed untouchable superiority. When I reached instinctively to touch the chain, it tightened, viciously refusing to budge, cutting into my skin. Panic sent me running through pouring rain to the nearest hospital, begging nurses to cut it off. They exchanged worried glances, thinking breakdown, not curse. I fled again, collapsing on wet pavement under streetlights, screaming at the sky. Take it back. I don't want this anymore. I just want to be me again. I was happier, invisible, with my sister beside me, my family whole. Please, I'm sorry. Then her voice cut gently through the storm. I never stopped hoping you'd come back, the real you. Lucy stood there soaked to the bone, eyes soft with understanding and love that hadn't wavered. She revealed small truths I'd forgotten, even at my absolute worst. ID quietly offered to sell the necklace to help pay her hospital bills. That kindness came from the real me, not the magic. You're not evil, Helen. You're just human, terrified of being invisible forever. But you never needed a necklace to matter. You already did to me, to Mum and Dad, to the people who really see you. She pulled me into the fiercest, warmest hug as I sobbed everything out, every regret. Every cruel word, every moment I'd chosen power over love. And in that raw, honest moment, truly seen, truly forgiven, truly loved for exactly who I was, beneath all the winder necklace loosened its death grip and slipped silently free, falling harmless into the puddle at our feet with a soft splash. Maybe true love isn't about everyone adoring you from afar. Maybe it's about the people who stay close when the magic fades and help you remember the light you carried all along. What do you think? Can something that promises everything you ever wanted end up teaching you the hardest lessons about who you really are deep down? Have you ever chased a version of yourself that almost cost you the people who matter most? Drop your thoughts, your own stories, your deepest reflections in the comments below. I read every single one, and they mean the world. Hit that bell icon so you're notified the moment the next story drops. Thank you for walking this long, emotional journey with me today. See you soon.